get some food after this, yeah. Hey everyone, it's Fevo, the dog health guy here for Augustine Approved. You can hear Augustine and Faith pitter-pattering around down here. They're not going to stop, are they? Okay, and today I wanted to talk about something very, very important. Everyone's seen the Dog vs. Lump series of videos. Here's the star of part 1, Mishka, where we showed how to get rid of a lump on her tail using 3 whole food ingredients. And that recipe and the videos have been shared thousands of times. Thank you very, very much for all those that have tried the recipe and all the success stories that you keep reporting to us. But today's video is really about the underlying causes of lumps, because we do live in a quick fix society and everyone seems to celebrate early when they get rid of lumps. I've got some notes here because, very importantly, I wanted to say that the lumps are not the problem, they're the result of a problem. Before we get onto that though, I just wanted to show it's been October 2012 when we launched that video. You probably won't be able to see it too well because Mishka hasn't been groomed in a while, but it was about a 1 centimetre lump on her tail. And what I love about using SuperHeal instead of surgery is that because we're not surgically removing the tissue, the memory is still there. You'll find that there's actually no scarring whatsoever here, which is a really good bonus. The conversation that we're going to have today is along the lines of the one that we had for One Answer to Skin Problems video, where we show how to get rid of one of the main causes of skin problems, Candida overgrowth. We did that using food ingredients. But like I said, we're in a quick fix world and we need to address the underlying causes. Same thing with cancer research. I can look you guys straight in the eye and tell you it is a pipe dream if you ever think that there's going to be a cancer cure, so to speak, because the cancer is not the problem. The cancer is the result of a problem. So we need to address the underlying causes. Sure, before everyone jumps down my throat, there might be some genetic dispositions to it, but doesn't mean that everyone with a genetic disposition is necessarily going to get a cancer. There have to be triggers or activators to that, whether there are viral, a million other things we won't go into today. So a lump, whether it's a fatty lump or a cancer, basically is produced to encapsulate and contain a problem. The main problems that we're talking about is toxicity, and many, many things can fall under that banner. Mishka, you can get down actually. Thank you. Thank you very much. Go in your bed, good girl. So when we see a lump, it's actually a warning sign. I don't look at attacking the lump itself mainly. It's basically the body trying to say, we can't tolerate what you're doing to us. We need to change something in our diet or lifestyle to better help reduce the chance of something more dangerous happening down the track. That's why I don't focus on the lumps. To me, it's a warning sign. Similar to, you see a lot of people making jokes online about, you know, they have competitions about or talk about whose dog has the worst and smelliest gas and how they can clean the room out. It's not that I don't have a sense of humour, but we're kind of ignoring the biggest warning sign of toxicity there is. Things are going rancid and festering inside the animal's body. And we're ignoring that. We're just saying, well, that's funny. Well, it's not. The body's trying to tell you that changes need to be made before something more severe develops. Basically, with toxicity, it can mean a myriad of things. I mean, we can talk about pesticides, we can talk about heavy metals, we can talk about really low quality ingredients full of chemicals. We can talk about a million things, but they all fall under that bracket. So as long as we can address or do something about the toxicity, because it's not that I'm really anally retentive about all toxins and things like that. It's about accumulation, and that's the most overlooked thing. When they tell us that fluoride in our water is safe, and by the way, it's not actually fluoride, it's being classified as a neurotoxin now in one of the most prestigious medical journals. It's not that that synthetic version of fluoride is going to kill us or is going to affect our health. It's not that the pesticides that our dogs step on outside and go straight up their paws into their bloodstream is going to kill them or harm them. It's about an accumulation of toxins. So yeah, if you feed them a snack that's not very healthy, it's not immediately going to harm them. But a bit of column A, a bit of column B, add that up over a few years, and that's how we have problems. So there are things that are in our control, and there are things that are out of our control. So the way I look at it is, I don't beat myself up about it. We step outside our place every day, and I know that the gardeners spray things that I'm not very impressed about, and it does go into my dog's bloodstream. I can't change that. But what I look at is, if X amount of toxins are going in every day, I have to ask myself, what am I doing to remove them and to ease that? If I'm not doing anything, well, then my dogs are time bombs. It's only a matter of time. So with everything that goes in, we have to do something to take them out. So Today I want to share with you 12 of my favourite 12 life-changing tips that will help prevent disease and reduce the chance of, say, lumps appearing. I should say that sometimes lumps can appear temporarily when you're cleansing the body out as well, because just like in the One Answer to Skin Problems video, I said that the skin is the weakest part of the body. So when toxicity can't flush out fast enough through the digestive system, it can appear through the skin. So we can treat that topically, but to really get rid of that, we need to go internally. So 12 tips. Firstly, a lot of people email me questioning about the recipe for SuperHeal, and they've already done a biopsy. What I say to you is, if you financially can't afford surgery, if the biopsy proves that it is a cancerous lump, or if it's not something that you want to put your dog through, you don't believe in the conventional medicines or treatments, don't do the biopsy. If it's not going to change what you're going to do to treat the dog, then you're only meddling, you're putting a hole in a garbage can basically, and you could potentially spread toxicity. So if you're not going to go down the path of surgery, etc., there's probably no point. That's all. So I just want to reduce the risk of any contamination there. I am going to talk about products today, but it's not about products. I want to share with you what I do to keep my dogs healthy. You don't have to do what we do, but as long as you do something, okay? Clean water, like we said, with fluoride and all the other things. I know that in our Melbourne water in Australia, there's 150 chemicals that come out of our tap. You might think I'm crazy, but my dogs in the last few years drink nothing but Saka water. Not only it is alkaline water, but it's the purest water I could find, and it goes down so well, like water really. Alternatively, you can look at Dr. Willard water. It's a cheap alternative to bottled water or filtered water. A few drops can help improve the quality of water. One of the best resources to learn about water, and very friendly people you can ask, alkalineworld.com.au, brilliant website. The other thing I want to talk about is bedding, one of the most overlooked things. Dogs spend most of their lives sleeping on their beds. I've had bedding tested, and because all the material primarily comes out of countries like China, it doesn't matter how much you pay, it's just that it's been sprayed with chemicals. We've had things come back with cyanide, formaldehyde are some of the chemicals in there, especially when you have puppies and they're sitting there and they like to chew stuff because they're just young and fun. That can be quite dangerous. Again, about accumulation. Henry Hottie, fantastic company, they've produced an organic hemp bed for us, absolutely no chemicals. So we're reducing I guess what we're exposing our dogs to on a daily basis. Check those out. Cleaning products, there's many wonderful companies out there that make healthy natural products, even if you just want to use vinegar as a cleaning product. But I can tell you that I've gotten rid of every chemical cleaning product out of my home. I don't want that stuff anywhere near us. About a year ago downstairs, they polished the floors. The dogs broke out in skin problems. The fumes came up, they broke out in skin problems every day. So I guess with some of these cleaning products, you're going to see that sort of result, but over a longer period of time. Ability to go to the toilet, very overlooked with dogs that are in high-rise apartments and things like that. It's very important, thank you Augustine, it's very important that dogs can go to the bathroom when they want to. Just like if you're holding it in, you kind of feel really toxic after a few hours and you're actually poisoning yourself from the inside. Clean air and exercise, I can't state this enough, especially if you're on foods, or the dog's on foods that they're going to be cleansing out their body. They need to be able to run and move to get the circulation flowing, to get the body wanting to go to the toilet. Because going to the toilet is probably the most important thing that they can do. I want my dogs peeing and pooing as often as possible, because that's one of the methods of cleansing, just like defecating, urinating, perspiring, anything they have to do to basically constantly vent and get toxins out. Vaccines, a very heated debate. If we move aside the role of efficacy, whether or not they work, if you do vaccinate, I can tell you, I think we're one of the only countries in the world, in Australia, that we vaccinate annually. An alternative to vaccines is a Titre Test, where you can actually check the antibodies and how well the dogs can respond to certain viruses and things that you'd normally vaccinate for. So it's basically a test. Depending on where you are, it may be more or less expensive than a vaccine. but it's a good way to reduce the amount of vaccines that go in your dog. Bathing products, shampoos and conditioners aren't always necessary. God, every label I pick up, they're just full of garbage chemicals. That's going straight into your dog's body. Something that we use when they're not too smelly is Augustine Super Bath. It's pure calendula flowers, amazing anti-inflammatory properties, and very, very good for the skin. A lot of dogs with hives, we've noticed straight away after having a bath in this, it calms down. The main thing, the root of all disease is, you could say, is inflammation or acid. So when we have processed foods, dry foods, or even canned foods, it doesn't matter how much money you spend. I can't say this enough. It doesn't matter the quality of the ingredients. They are processed. That makes them inherently inflammatory. So especially when you have a dog with arthritis, for example, you're trying to give arthritis supplements to get rid of inflammation when your base diet is inflammation. It just doesn't make sense to me. So whether you look at our free recipes for Augustine Superfood, or you add, say, Augustine Super Boost to the diet, which is highly, highly alkalizing, I recommend you do something, which is better than nothing. This is the only thing you need to purchase to make our fresh food recipes, or again, you can add it to your existing foods. I'll put this up against any anti-inflammatory supplement on the market, whether it's medical or not. I believe it to be that great. It has ingredients in there that help oxygenate the blood and neutralize acidity. We have bodybuilders that actually put this in capsules and take it, or in their smoothies. The beauty of this product, the best way to explain it when we talk about dogs running around like puppies again, is that if a dog's on a processed diet, it's like eating junk food every day for yourself, and then after a week you get given a couple of green smoothies. You're going to be buzzing because it is so oxygenating and alkalizing. It does a myriad of things, but we won't get into that too much. Chemical wormers. Every time you put a chemical wormer in your dog's body, you've got to ask, why do they have poison warnings and keep out of reach of children warnings if they're so healthy for our dogs? I think sometimes the chemical wormer can do more damage than the actual worms themselves. So you have nature's answer to chemical wormers, which is Faith. It's a mixture of 22 herbs that are an absolute powerhouse. They do nothing but good for the dogs. This is the same product, or the main product, that they use to regulate candida that we showed in the one answer to skin problems video. And they also, this alters the taste of the blood, and we find that fleas don't like the taste of the blood, so they'll jump on and then they'll jump off. But then we go on to chemical topical flea treatments. Again, same thing, very toxic. A lot of court cases going around with how many dogs are harmed and how many cats are harmed. We produced F-Off, which is a type of zeolite. It's a sprinkle tub. It's very moisture absorbing, which the fleas can't stand. Safe and healthy enough to eat. You can put it on carpets, bedding, directly on your animals. It's even good for foot odors in shoes because of how moisture absorbing it is. So you might ask why this one for fleas and not Faith. Faith works as a general all-rounder for general exposure to fleas. F-Off is more for infestations and prevention in certain actual topical areas. So yeah, we find this works very well, but if you go into heavily infested areas, you'd want to treat with that one. Pesticides, major problem, and all toxins and heavy metals and everything dogs are exposed to. Timaz zeolite, otherwise known as Dynacol zeolite, which is the new label coming out one day, is an absolutely brilliant product. It's a rock mineral. It has a negative charge. Heavy metals, viruses, toxins have a positive charge. It basically binds and traps these toxins to itself and helps expel them through the digestive system. Simultaneously, and this is the special part, it releases an abundance of minerals, abundance of nutrients basically for hair, skin and nails, or fur, skin and nails, I should say, a human label which hairdressers are going bonkers over at the moment. Yeah, for hair, skin and nails as well. Just as an added bonus, coconut oil, antiviral, antifungal, anti-everything, and it's a wonderful food for dogs with inflammatory conditions like your pancreatitis and things. If a vet's ever told you that they can't have fat, contrary to popular belief, this is a very, very healthy fat for dogs, especially those with the itis conditions, because it doesn't process the same way. It goes straight to the liver and gets turned into energy, because removing fat of a dog's diet is only going to cause more problems. So this is a way to keep the fat in and get it in a way that the body can actually utilize it, and it's not going to affect them negatively. So that's some of my life-changing tips that the ladies of Augustine approve use. You can probably hear Augustine chewing and snoring away there. Thank you for watching. As always, get in touch anytime if you have questions. Emails and messages are very hard. If you can give us a call, that would probably be preferred. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time.